Corinthians 17:23 through 27. See where does 23 start? Therefore now the Lord, let the thing that you have spoken concerning your servant, concerning his house, be established forever, and do as you have said. Now this is referring to the promise he gave through David about his line being established forever, which is through Christ. But since God promised it anyway, it was going to happen regardless of what David's opinion was. David's more praying here, Lord, don't allow me to do what I need to do for your will to be done. He's like, let it be done. He's like, allow me to be a part to do what I need to do to allow that to happen. Let it even be established that your name may be magnified forever, saying, the Lord of hosts is the God of Israel, even God to Israel, and let the house of David, your servant, be established before you. So he's saying, if you're going to make my house be forever, allow them to be forever by your name. Allow them forever to praise your name. And through the house of David, the name of the Lord will be praised forever through Jesus Christ, the earthly descendant of David. But Jesus was before David because Jesus is God. So while there was kings, sons of David, that did not follow the Lord, Jesus, the Lord, would ultimately fulfill all this blessing given to David here. Verse 25. For you, O God, for you, O my God, have told your servant that you will build him a house. Therefore your servant has found in his heart to pray before you. He's not saying like a building. He's making also reference to how the Lord will have his temple, but he's referring more to how he's got a kingdom line. Saul's kingdom ended with Saul, but David would go beyond David to his sons, to his son's son, and on, and all the way to Christ. So, David's thanking God for building up his kingdom. Because David ain't referring it to his kingdom, because he knows the kingdom is the Lord's. He's just put in place as king of that kingdom. It's the Lord's give and the Lord's take, and David realizes that. David realizes how much he's being blessed by this, because David truly understands who he is and who the Lord is. David is humbled. There's a period of time Saul was humbled, but Saul lost his humility and developed pride, and that's when the Lord had to take his kingdom and give it to David. David wasn't perfect. David did fall to sin, but David's heart was most of the time after the Lord, with the exception. Let's see, verse 26. And now, Lord, you are God, and you have persuaded this goodness to your servant. David realizes he don't deserve it. He don't deserve what the Lord's giving him, but the Lord's giving it to him anyway. It's just how gracious the Lord is. The fact that the Lord gives David breath is a blessing. The fact that he became king was a blessing. None of which he deserves. We got to understand the Lord gives us a lot, but we're deserving of none of it. And it's just the truth behind things. Everything we have given to him, given by him to us, is a blessing. And David realized that. Now therefore let us please you to bless the house of your servant, that it may be before you forever. For you bless, O Lord, it shall be blessed forever. David's realizing, yes, Lord, you said your house is going to be forever. But if it's not going to be serving you, then don't let it be. He's saying, if my house isn't going to serve you, there's kind of no point of it being. David's realizing that that his house will remain forever, because the Lord said it would. But he's realizing that if his house stays forever and doesn't serve the Lord, recognize the Lord, then it isn't good. And David understands that. David understands that true happiness comes from serving the Lord. This isn't something some of his descendants would accept, because they would openly reject the Lord. But David knew that if we live forever, it needs to be worship of the Lord.